Good morning. Last couple days I talked about stuff I stopped doing or don't want to do anymore or am not going to do it all. And so I'm going to say a word or two about an actual thing that I'm actually going to do. Very exciting. So when I set off on this journey to find slightly more meaningful work than optimizing headlines on venture capital funded SaaS websites, like surely it's out there, right? And I put this out into public. One response that I heard from a few people I didn't really know, like personally, Twitter friends or whatever, was Web3. Web3 is the future. I bet that you have heard that too if you're on the internet. And so I thought, well, I will certainly consider this. And so, like background, I have a degree in computer science. I have a degree in math. I've been doing website stuff in some fashion or another, whether it's engineering or marketing, for like my whole post-teacher career, 5 or 6 years now, enough anyway. So I'm like, well, yeah, I should be able to get into this. I should be able to feel it out, see if there's an opportunity, see if there's work I want to do. No problem, right? And what I found when I cracked into it was basically like just what a shit show. It's a total mess. There's all these grifters and scammers and all this hype and all these just true believers that are honestly like just intolerable and completely unhelpful in this space, to the point that I very nearly just discounted it entirely and decided like, nah, why would I get into this scammy area? It doesn't make any sense. What changed my mind was talking to really just a couple people who were very helpful in kind of helping to separate all the scam and grift and hype from what's really there, to the point that I decided, okay, I guess I believe that there is a there. And when I reached that point of having, I guess, enough faith that, there's something to it, then it all of a sudden became a really interesting opportunity. Because if the thing that I'm good at is explaining stuff, like this teacher/marketer role where I'm trying to explain complicated things and trying to do it in a way that sort of meets people's emotional state and level of understanding and motivation, like if that's what I want to do for clients, for humans in general, then, well, here's a space that clearly needs it. Because I got to say, like, for an outsider coming in, and again, I'm overqualified to understand this stuff, quite so. And for an outsider coming in, it's so very obscure. And I won't say it's exactly unfriendly, but it's this sort of, it's almost like this religious vibe where it's like, well, you're all in and you're a true believer, or got no time for you, bro. And that misses, I think, a huge opportunity. The vast majority of humans on Earth are not all in, not true believers in this space. And to just say we don't need them is, I mean, it's like the adoption curve, right? Like, where you reach a point where you want to go past early adopters and actually bring in like normies and skeptics and noobs and non-technical people. You just can't have that be your approach. You can't have that be your vibe. And I want to say maybe the whole crypto Web3 space is getting to the point where it makes sense to be a lot more user-friendly, a lot more open to outsiders. And I think that means going a little deeper and acknowledging that there is a lot of scam and grift, and being really forward and proactive in helping people understand what's what for themselves. I don't see a lot of that. So I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try a couple different angles. Like, I guess ideally I could get paid coming and going, where if I'm able to put together some sort of resource, guide, videos, book, something that helps people who are new and who are not technical and who are skeptical, if it helps them sort of navigate and figure out whether there's anything for them in this space at all, and if so, how to find it and how to approach it and learn the skills they need and understand the risks, which I think is one of the big things that almost everyone just sort of waves their hands at. Like, no, you're going to get rich. Like, obviously, you sound like a scammer when you don't say that. So if I can provide something useful there, I hope that's worth, like dollars to some people. And then on the potential like client side, on the startup side, the business side, if I can help some of these companies explain what they do. I assume that some of them actually do want to do a better job of explaining what they do. I haven't validated that yet. I actually don't know. It might be that I'm wrong, and it might be that no, they really want their entire like marketing and onboarding strategy to be join our Discord. And maybe that's just how they want things to stay forever. But I'm telling you that there's many, many more people out there who would be interested if it was a little more welcoming and user-friendly to non-technical people and a little clearer about what it is and what the value is, again, what the risk is. So I think I can do the same like website optimization stuff that I've done for years for e-commerce and for SaaS. I think I can do this for like Web3 companies and startups, and it'll be, they don't have the same budget that enterprise SaaS does, so it'll require some change up stuff on that front, but that's fine. Like I think I've already kind of done the work to gradate the things I'm able to offer at different price points. And so it's really just a question of, does anybody actually care? Does anybody actually want this? Do any businesses actually realize, yeah, you know what, for an outsider, it probably doesn't make any sense what we do, and that's a problem. Again, I don't know, but I'm going to try to find out in the next couple months, talking to people, putting some offers out there, seeing if literally anyone cares that I assert my ability to do this. And then that's the other question, does anyone believe me when I say I can do it? And I've got, evidence, I've got experience, I've got a bunch of blog posts and videos about this, so I think I'm credible in the space, but this is a different space, so I don't know. But that's kind of my focus. Like I have the clients that I'm working with currently and very happy, love them to death, and will continue to serve them. But in, say, 6 months' time, I expect to be able to operate in this space instead. And I think it's a way better opportunity for me because, again, I like to explain stuff simply. I used to teach kindergarten. I taught remedial math at a community college. To me, this seems like another iteration of that journey where it's just like, look, here's some overly complex stuff. Let me break it down for you, which comes from understanding like where people are at, what their levels are, not assuming that you already have a wallet and hold a bunch of Bitcoin and know all this terminology. For the true beginner, what do you need to know to edge into this space? And again, find out if there's anything there for you in the first place. That's the mission. That's kind of vague. So I guess if I'm going to do a video every day, at some point, I probably talk about what does that actually look like? Like what am I going to do? Like, okay, cool plan, bro. Like what's the next step? Don't really know. It's also fresh, but that's the direction that I'm headed. And that's the end of the video.